I'm your host, Peter Komendowski, and welcome to Surviving Bad, where we explore stories of survival, hope, and inspiration. Today we're talking about Urban Dreams, an organization in Des Moines, Iowa dedicated to creating opportunity and access for people to pursue their dreams. Joining us is Rachel Manna to talk about an organization founded by Wayne Ford in 1985 to help underserved and underrepresented people break down barriers, overcome obstacles, and lift up their lives. Let's meet Rachel, learn about her journey and Urban Dreams. Rachel, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Peter. I do want to start off by saying that I'm really grateful that you asked me to be on the show, and I'm looking forward to telling you more about me and Urban Dreams. What I can tell you about Urban Dreams, like you said, Wayne Ford started in 1985. The basic purpose that from when he started Urban Dreams was because we are located on 6th and Forest in Des Moines, in our inner city, and most of this area was populated with drug addiction, prostitution, gangs, violence, things like that. And most local businesses closed at 5 o'clock. And so Wayne Ford started Urban Dreams to give a safe place for the community to be open from 6 o'clock until 9 o'clock at night. It was warm in the winter and it was cool in the summer. People could get their mail delivered here if they didn't have a mailing address. People could use their phone. There was hot coffee here. So it was just basically founded just to make sure that the people in our community had a safe place to go. And then over time, we've started doing a whole lot of different programming. Isaiah Knox took over in 2017. He is only the second executive director we've had here. And he has done incredible things with this organization. I started working here in 2019. I became passionate about wanting to work at a nonprofit that helped people. I am a recovering addict, and so I just celebrated 6 years of sobriety on July 28th, 2016, or excuse me, July 28th, 2022. My sobriety date is 2016. And I'm really, really honored to be working in a place like this. So.
Now, in your working with the community, there's quite a legacy here. What kind of things have grown over the years from when it first started to be a warm place or a cool place or a safe place to the kind of outreach you're doing? Because I see there are a lot of innovative programs.
Yeah, so we have a lot of different programs that we offer here. We do community connectivity. That is our free and low cost community events that we put on throughout the year. We do many events here, and a lot of the background for our community events has to do with positive out of car police experiences. We do partner with the Des Moines Police and Des Moines firefighters on a lot of our events, including our pre-winter car checkup is coming up in October every year. We partner with NAPA, the police, the fire department, and like DMAC Auto. To what we do is we service the first 500 cars that come through broken or burnt out light bulbs. We replace those, windshield wipers, fill tire pressure, things like that. We want to eliminate unnecessary traffic stops in the winter. And so the Des Moines Police are out there with us changing these parts and helping us with help the community for free. So that's one of the events that we do. We also have a 24-hour community buffet. We open our doors from 8 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday through 8 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, and we stay here all night. And we get donated food throughout the entire 24-hour period. Every person on the Des Moines Police and Des Moines Fire Department has to come through here on their shift and get a meal and sit down and eat a meal with the community. So that's another really great thing that we offer in community connectivity. We offer mental health. We have a mental health therapist who's working in our building. We have substance abuse, which also includes our OWI program. We do outpatient. We have done outpatient treatment here throughout the years and evaluations. We also do the 48-hour jail diversion program in 7 locations currently. We just opened up an 8th location that will start next month. So we offer that 48-hour OWI jail diversion program. We have workforce development. People come in here for help with their resumes, applying for jobs, bridging the connection between the unemployed and the employers. We hold job fairs here. We have a job fair just this Wednesday for people to come and get information. We also have our education aspect. We have 2 different partnerships with the Des Moines Public Schools. One of them is deferred expulsion and out of school suspension, where students come to our building and work and integrate back into public schools. We also, since there's no more SROs in the 5 Des Moines Public School high schools, we have a restorative justice facilitator in each one of the schools to help not be a teacher, but not be students, be somewhere in the middle. Um, and we also have a food pantry that's open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And we pride ourselves in having as little barriers to services as possible. We don't have any income or residency restrictions. People can come here no matter what food pantry they go to. People can come here every day of the week if they need to. So those are the services that we have.
Well, that sounds like a mouthful. I'm sure it's come a long way since the organization was founded. And I'd like to hear more about those programs and some of the impact on the communities. We're going to take a short break first. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Rachel Manna from Urban Dreams. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. You can feel it happening. Our digital world expanding with every breath. We're entering a whole new era of connectivity, and MediaCom will be ready to power it with one of the nation's first 10G platforms. We'll be bringing you more speed, more capacity, more security, and the power to do
Welcome back to Surviving Bad. I'm your host, Peter Komendowski, and we're talking about Urban Dreams with Rachel Manna. Rachel, talk about a little bit about how Urban Dreams has grown and how you develop community connectivity, the challenges you face, things like that.
Okay, so I know that when I first started working here, we tried to have community events every month. We've done all kinds of things. We do Easter egg hunts, and we have done Valentine's dance. We wanted to kind of stay away from the daddy-daughter dance, or because not everybody has a dad, right? So we wanted to be all inclusive, and we just made a dance. Anybody could come, anybody could bring their kids. It didn't matter. It didn't even have to be one of their parents. Somebody could bring a child to the dance and just have a good time. We opened up an office in Cedar Rapids in 2020. So we've done some community events out there. We do our Thanksgiving bag giveaway in Des Moines and in Cedar Rapids every year. And then one of the things that I think makes Urban Dreams stand out from some of the other nonprofits or just organizations in our area is that when 2020 happened and so much of our community shut down because of the pandemic, Urban Dreams stayed open. And we continued to hold events. We just found different ways to do it. We were already in the middle of, we were working with telehealth already. So we were able to do that with our substance evaluations. We switched some of our events to Zoom. We had 2020 presidential candidates come through Urban Dreams and talk to our community. And so there was a few of them that didn't make it in person, and we got to hold those on Zoom, and we did them live on Facebook. And so we were still able to reach our community even if we weren't able to do certain events in person. We also partnered with the Food Bank of Iowa for the food and with Orchestrate Hospitality to prepare the meals. And we set up shop at the park, and we did a drive-through event every Monday and every Thursday for the entire summer of 2020. And we gave away hot meals to the community. So those are just some of the ways that we have been creative in making sure that we do whatever the events need to serve our community.
You know, it takes a lot of volunteers to help. Do you have a lot of people coming in to help you?
We do have a lot of people that show up to volunteer. A lot of the times it's our staff. Our staff shows up, they stay late, they come early, they come on weekends. But yeah, we do have a lot of people willing to show up. We have board members that come. We post these events on Facebook, and so people come in, and they're willing to help. One of our events that we hold every year is our Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service. And that's when volunteers come in and they just help us clean our building, and they help us organize our stuff and help us get ready for the new year. And we always have 50 to 100 people coming in here and helping us volunteer throughout the day. So it's,
Oh, that sounds
it's
pretty
great.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. We also have, because we have a food pantry Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, volunteers can come in anytime and help us with our food pantry.
Now, we've heard a lot on the news about food pantries having trouble keeping up with the demand. How is that working out for you guys in Des Moines and Cedar Rapids?
So what I can tell you is that we have grown so much in the last couple of years. Before the pandemic, we used to let people come into our building and they would pick their own food. And we would say that you could pick 2 items. And now we have no space for people to come in. We actually just recently purchased a new building. And so we will have a new food pantry there where people can come in and get what they want. But right now, since 2020, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 refrigerators and 4 freezers. And when I first started working here in 2019, we had 2 refrigerators and freezers. So we have grown. We get food every single day from different partners. Some of the food that we get is prepared meals. Some of it is leftover catered meals that we package up. Some of the food is donated through the food bank or food rescue from Eat Greater Des Moines, and then just donated from other companies around town.
What do you see as some of the biggest needs that in the last couple of years that you've been there have been growing for some of the at-risk people in our communities?
So I think that food is still definitely a huge thing. And we, like I said earlier, we try to take pride in the minimal barriers to using our services. It doesn't matter if people have a job and they still need food, we still allow them to come. It doesn't matter if they live 25 miles away from here, we still allow them to come. Some food pantries have limits on where you can go, and we don't have any of those here. Sometimes we have people who don't have somewhere to live. They come here in the morning when we first get food and they get, something to eat for breakfast. And then sometimes they come right before we close too, to make sure that they have something to eat later on in the day. So we just try to stay open and stay ready and available for everybody.
Well, these are great points. We're going to take another break. And after that break, we're going to ask Rachel to share some stories from her work at Urban Dreams and maybe a view of how the world is changing for the people of Des Moines and Iowa. Stay tuned.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? I'm high. Oh.
Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. You can feel it happening, our digital world expanding with every breath. We're entering a whole new era of connectivity, and MediaCom will be ready to power it with one of the nation's first 10G platforms. We'll be bringing you more speed, more capacity, more security, and the power to do more than you ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back to Surviving Bad. We're talking with Rachel Manna on Urban Dreams about the importance of healing and opportunity in a world that often has a tough time accepting or allowing change. Rachel, you have a personal story.
Yes.
But you also have a deep passion, and part of that comes from that. And I can't help but feel the love you have for what you're doing. Please share some of that with us.
So like I shared the first part of the show, I'm a recovering addict. I was addicted to drugs for 9 years of my life. I had little periods of sobriety in there, but not very much. This is the longest amount of substantial clean time I've been able to have. My addiction took me to homelessness and jobless, and I didn't have anything. I had kids that I walked away from. I never pursued an education. I did graduate high school, so I'm really grateful for that. My addiction started after I turned 18. But what I can tell you is that working at a place like Urban Dreams that gives second chances to their employer or employees has been a true honor for me. I get to help serve people in a way that I needed when I was actively using. Urban Dreams wasn't really giving out food and things like that when I was getting high, but what I can tell you is that I'm able to give back to the community in a way that I wish I had when I was using, and it's really great.
What are some of the sort of the stories, maybe not, without mentioning names, of people whose lives you've seen turn around in the time you've been there?
I've watched people get jobs. I've watched people that are able to feed their families. I've watched people come through here that have been kicked out of school for different reasons, and they were able to integrate back into public schooling and succeed and graduate. I've watched kids who come through here and do summer internships and graduate those programs and go on to their next year of school and continue to be successful. I have seen our Urban Dreams office in Cedar Rapids that just opened in 2020. I've seen that program just flourish. They're so successful with their workforce development, and they opened a food pantry out there. Also, they're open 2 days a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's really great to be where I'm at.
What do you see for the future for Urban Dreams? Not just your role in it, but how do you see it growing to make an even bigger impact? Especially, let's look at Des Moines.
Yeah. So like I said, we just purchased a building recently. We have been since 1985. We're located on the corner of 6th and Forest. We currently rent the space that we're in. We owned the building next door. And then at one point in time, we moved into this building. This was before I started working here. And then there was fire damage and water damage, and the building that we owned was unable to be used after that. So last year, we demolished that building, and we are building an outdoor courtyard to provide outdoor safe space for the community and outdoor events for Urban Dreams. We have percussion play instruments out there. We're going to have a garden out there. There's a stage for outdoor events. And then the new building that we purchased is 6 blocks away from us on 2nd Avenue. So we will be moving just a little far away, but we are going from 1,100 square feet to 11,000 square feet.
Wow.
So that will allow us to expand every program that we have.
What are the programs that need expansion the most?
So our education program is huge, right? Like I said, we have our deferred expulsion students and our out of school suspension students, and they need their own space. And so we'd be able to provide that for them. We also, like I said, our food pantry is so limited right now. We bag up the food for people right now. We have them wait at the door and we'll give it to them that way. But once we move into the new building, we'll be able to have them be able to come through and get their food and go out a separate entrance. So the food service will be able to be separate from the rest of our services. What else? We can also, our OWI and substance abuse will be able to get bigger as well. Like I said, we're in 8 cities right now, and we just opened up another location that we will start this year. So that's huge. We do 70 classes a year, teaching 48-hour weekend classes almost every weekend. Sometimes we're doubled up.
So you talked a little bit about providing a presence that the SROs used to have, the student resource officers used to have, which was a police officer. Now, Defense of Des Moines Public Schools, they also added a lot of counselors. So they've
Yes.
really they added a lot of support for the mental health and social emotional learning. What role do the people that you're working with in the schools perform?
So our restorative justice facilitators are just there. They are there for the students in any way that they can be. They hold restorative circles. If anything was going on with the students, they just check in with the parents and the students throughout the year. And they're just available. And I think that Des Moines Public Schools is really listening to what the parents and the community is needing for their kids.
Well, that's really great to hear. Well, we're going to take a short break, after which we're going to invite Rachel to share some final comments, insights, and inspiration. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
Today, more than ever, you need fast, reliable internet. At MediaCom, we want you to know you can count on us. Our fiber-powered 100% gigabit technology network was built for the future. We have enormous capacity and power and 99.99% network reliability. So even though these are uncertain times, we're prepared. And you can be certain we'll keep your world connected. Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. You can feel it happening, our digital world expanding with every breath. We're entering a whole new era of connectivity, and MediaCom will be ready to power it with one of the nation's first 10G platforms. We'll be bringing you more speed, more capacity, more security, and the power to do more than you ever dreamed possible.
Welcome back. Today on Surviving Bad, we're talking about Urban Dreams, an organization with a mission to help Iowans lift themselves up. Let's see what insights, advice, and inspiration Rachel has to share. You know, Rachel, from your point of view, if you had a room full of kids in, say, middle school, knowing all the stuff they go through living in the communities you serve, what are the kinds of things you would tell them as Rachel?
I guess the most important thing that I would tell kids is to not be afraid to reach out for help, because it doesn't matter what kind of situation someone's in or what they're going through or what they need. There's somebody in the community who's willing to help with whatever it is.
Is it true that when a child needs help, they look to the parents, but not all parents are capable of helping them?
I mean, so I think that there might be some truth to that. I think that some parents might struggle a little more than others in able to help with what their kids need. But like I said, there's so many resources out there, right? Like 211 is a huge community resource that will literally direct you to anything that you need. There's an organization, I swear, for everything. It's just all about finding the right person in the right place.
But you know, it's hard because we hear so much about stigma that, like, if I reach out, like now people are talking about mental health, but you go back 5 years, if you talked about mental health, they thought you should go to loony bin. I mean, you know, but even though people still hesitate to ask for help, what can you do to overcome that stigma? What could you tell people if they're watching this show?
I guess just to know that, like, everything is becoming more apparent and it's being brought more to the light now. I think that people are becoming more comfortable with things that were taboo before, like mental health and substance abuse and opioid addiction and childhood gang violence. I think that all of that stuff is becoming so much more common that people are being forced to talk about it. And people are setting up new organizations to learn how to help and how to fight these pandemics almost every day. So I think that that's great that that communities are willing to step up and get involved and show up and be there. And that's something that Urban Dreams stands on, is that we're here to help, and we will do what we can in whatever situation. And if we can't help, like I said, we refer a lot of people to 211 if it's something that we can't do. But we partner with a lot of different organizations, so we can help you find someone.
So we know you've said that you really didn't start down sort of a dark path till you were about 18. So somewhere between 16 and 18, some things changed. If you could go back in time to talk to your younger self, what kind of advice would you give that 16 or 17-year-old Rachel?
Another thing that I can tell you is that even though I didn't become addicted to my drug of choice until I was after 18, I was still doing some pretty rough things that I shouldn't have been doing, running away from home and sneaking out, lying to my parents. I was gravitated towards people who were using drugs. I guess what I would tell my younger self, or younger, my kids who are going to be teenagers soon. I guess what I would tell, I guess what I would say is that you just have to care more about yourself than you do about everything else. And I know that sometimes depression is hard when it comes to teenagers, and you just have to find someone to talk to, and you just have to learn that we have different choices that we make, high risk or low risk choices, and we're either going to make one outcome or the other, but there's no having both. So just knowing what the right choices are to make is super important.
So now if we went the other way and we brought that 16-year-old Rachel up into 2022, do you think it'd be a better world for her to get the help and the guidance to keep her away from some of the problems that you had in your life?
I absolutely think so, yes. I think that a lot of people were still so like ashamed to talk about certain things. Like I said, the mental health for teenagers and substance abuse, opioid addiction, all of these things are just, they're so much bigger now. And I think that is unfortunate, but I also think that makes it more easy for people to be willing to talk about things and willing to do what they can to help and reach their hand out.
Knowing all this, then, I'd say that you're pretty hopeful that the next generation of kids is going to have a chance to build a better world than they may be inheriting now.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being here today and sharing your story and talking about Urban Dreams. And thank you all for watching today. Check out our website, ahealthyiowa.org, and keep your eye on MediaCom MC22 for our next episode of Surviving Bad, where we explore stories of survival, hope, and inspiration. On MediaCom MC22, your local programming leader.